Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper, and I'm so excited to be here. This is part of the Altenew release for September 2018. I'm going to be using this festive poinsettia set and its coordinating die, a beautiful open leaf poinsettia and a nice big image that can be a great focal point on a card. I've decided to heat emboss this with some fluorescent green embossing powder and do some watercolouring today. So I've got some Bristol white smooth cardstock and I've stamped it with some embossing ink, and don't freak out, I know it's fluorescent green. It's kind of like no line colouring but weird because it's got a fluorescent colour. When you do hit it with the heat tool it's not quite as vivid. I have got a bit of a production line happening here. I've got 3 of these images that I'm colouring up just to give me some practicing to. I find if I've coloured an image once or twice, you know, by the 3rd or 4th time I've coloured it, I've nailed it. It doesn't happen straight away. Well, I'm not happy with it straight away. Anyway, these are the watercolour paints from Altenew, and I'm using, it's kind of like I wanted the poinsettia to be like the light greeny ones that you see, not the bright red ones. So I decided to go with the bamboo paint, and I'm just sort of wetting each leaf as I'm going to add the colour. So then I'll add clean water first to the leaf, drop the colour in, let it spread on its own, and then I'm dropping the frayed leaf green, which is a little bit darker, at the base of these leaves. So then I can wait for it to dry, see what it looks like, and come back in and I can add more colour afterwards. The good thing about using a heat embossed image to watercolour with is that you don't really have to worry too much about the watercolour spreading to the other portions of the image. I mean, they're all pretty much the same colours anyway for this one, but you don't get that sort of problem because the water is held within the well of the embossing. So it does make it go a little bit faster. Now, I didn't think that I had enough contrast with my base, you know, my lower leaves, for the sort of the lower leaves of the tree, not the what I call the flower leaves. So I did wait for that to dry and come back in with the emerald green. I think I'd originally gone with the evergreen and it just didn't look right. It looked too browny with the fluorescent green, and I wasn't particularly happy with how my green leaves, the dark green leaves, turned out. But a lot of it gets hidden behind the design anyway, and next time I'll do it better. Like I say, it's all part of the learning and all part of the fun we have creating. So this is what I was saying. I did just paint it directly over top and kept it nice and bold. Actually, I think I added way too much paint. That's probably what the problem was here. And then I can just set all these images aside to dry. I like them to dry naturally. So like I said, this is part of a blog hop, part of a release from Altenew, and it's a lot of Christmas designs in this release and heaps of fun stuff. I've got 3 other cards over at my blog to share with you, so head through the link in the description below, and if you head over there as well, you can be in with a chance to win if you leave a comment, and that's if you're here in September 2018. I'd love to see you there. Okay, so here's the coordinating die, and I'll just run that through my die cutting machine, just hold it in place with some low tack tape. And then I've got, this is the front of my card. I'm actually stamping my sentiment directly onto the card using my all-time favourite Heartbeat. This is my favourite Christmas red. Actually, I'm using it on every card, I think. And that sentiment came from the Starry Night stamp set, which is also from the new release. And I've created a frame here. I just did it with my paper trimmer and added some fun foam and some Be Creative tape so I can pop it up off the edge of the card. And then I'm using my pencil here to mark out where I want my poinsettias to sit on the card. They're going to be under the frame where those pencil marks are, but it means I don't have to try and remember which angle I had the flowers at. So I put a little tick mark on the card base and on the die cut as well. Added some tape runner and some foam squares, and just going to sort of sit it lightly on the front of my card. Not going to press down too hard yet because I am going to need to sort of lift it up to get my frame around. The other poinsettia, I do exactly the same thing. So I come in with my pencil, mark on the card front, and also mark on the die cut so that when I sit it back down, it's going to be in exactly the same spot. And I can just tuck it in behind the other flower, which is where I'd sort of worked out where I wanted it to be. Like I said, I had done 3 of these, but there was no way I was going to fit 3 on here. So I'm peeling back 2 opposite corners here of the Be Creative tape on my frame, and then I'm just sort of gently tucking that in behind the flower images, or the poinsettia images, because we know they're not flowers, aren't they? They're leaves. I just want to call them flowers. And once I've got it sort of in place, and I can just press on the corners that have the tape exposed, that will hold it in place while I remove the edges of the Be Creative tape. This is where I wish I had have actually cut my green leaves off the bottom, but I simply just flipped it over and cut it with the scissors. If I do this card again, I'll be cutting them out before I pull that away. I didn't like my green centers of my flowers, so I've just added some matte medium and some flower soft. This is a color's called Strawberry. I know they don't have red centers, these ones, but I wanted that pop of red. I just think it helped because I had the red sentiment there. And then I'll just wait for that to dry, and once it's dry I can just tap off the excess of the flower soft, and that's my finished card. Thanks so much for joining me. I've had heaps of fun, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the blog hop. I know I will. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.